So you might be wondering, how come I haven't posted a hiking video in a while? And the reason why is I've been in training mode for the last month, getting ready to go back out on the Arizona Trail. Today is Thursday the 14th, and I'm going on trail Saturday the 16th. I'm starting at the Double Springs campground right where I left off last year. If you haven't seen the fourth video from the Arizona Trail 2020 try, you might want to check that out. Kind of shows what went wrong and when I got off trail. And anyway, a couple of people have asked questions about like what I'm bringing and if I'm going to stay warm. It's been kind of a cold, it's getting kind of cold right now up in the mountains. There's been some snow recently, so I've got a few questions, and I thought this would be a good time to kind of go over what my plan is if you're interested, and show you what my resupply looks like, and also what gear and whatnot I'm packing this year. So first, here's just a kind of quick overlook of what my plan is. I'm starting on the 16th. If all goes well, this will be a 14-day trip. I actually have 16 days off of work, so I've given myself a couple of extra days of leeway in case you never know what might go wrong. But you can see that on the Wednesday, October 20th, that's the fifth day of hiking. At the end of the day, I'll be meeting my dad in the town of Pine. He has a resupply box for me, so I'll get a resupply of food and some of the other essentials that I need. And then I'm not planning to take any time off or get a hotel. I'm just gonna eat a burger and drink some beer with them and get my resupply and get back on the trail, and I'll find some place to camp nearby. After that, it'll be another 4 days before I'll meet Laura, and she's going to be picking me up at an area where the trail crosses a highway, Highway 87. So that'll be the cool thing there is I'm coming home, so I'm gonna take a shower. That'll be my first shower in 9 days. Gross. But I'll be able to take a shower and wash my clothes, and the last 5 days I'll get a resupply here at home. And then, if I do end up in Picket Post on Friday, October 29th, my dad will be able to pick me up there. So here's a map. This is kind of cool. I put this together just to give you a sense of what I've finished so far and what I still have left. The red section there is what I did last year. As you can see, I started up near Jacob Lake, and I wasn't able to do the 27 miles from Jacob Lake up to the Utah border because it was closed due to a fire last year. But Laura and I went up there and did those 27 miles, and that was really fun. If you haven't seen that video, you might want to check that out. I'll put a link down in the description. That was fun. So I'm going to be starting right around Mormon Lake. This blue line is the stretch that I'm doing this year. It's about 235 miles, and it is ending in Superior at the Picket Post trailhead. There's a little orange line that I have here at the bottom. This is a 38 mile section between Superior and Kearney that I've already done. And so next year when I pick this up again, I'll start from around the town of Kearney. So that's basically the map, and hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea of where exactly I'm at. Now let's talk about what I'm taking with me. So this is my pack, same pack I've always had. It's a 58 liter Gregory Paragon. I'm not buying a new pack. It's not the lightest pack, but it's pretty light. So I've tried another lighter pack by Granite Gear, and I didn't like the way it works. So I'm sticking with this. I'm not ready to go any lighter yet. This is really comfortable. It's got a nice hip belt. I can carry a lot of weight if I want to. So I'm just gonna stick with it. This is my sleep system here. And my sleeping bag is a 20-degree Trestles. It's from Marmot, and I have it in a dry bag from Sea to Summit, and I have it in a dry bag just in case it does rain. I don't have to worry about my sleeping bag getting wet. You've seen my sleeping pad before, I'm sure. It's the Big Agnes Q-Core, and it is it's pretty lightweight, but it's really thick, which is nice because I'm a side sleeper and I've got to be comfortable at night. I'm already uncomfortable sleeping in the wilderness, so the least I can do is give myself something decent to sleep on. I have this Sea to Summit Aeros. It's the large pillow as well, and I also take the Thermarest. Some people most of the hikers that I run into, they usually just only sleep on this Thermarest. But let me tell you, that ain't enough for me. I need something a little more comfortable. So I take the mattress and I put it on top of the Thermarest because the silver coating radiates some of your body heat back at you, keeps the hard, cold ground floor from getting into and chilling your bones. But more importantly, it will protect my blow-up pad from all the thorns and needles and all the things in the desert that want to poke you. So this goes on the tent floor, and then of course the pad goes on top of that. So I actually sleep pretty good considering. This is my cook kit. This is actually one of the only things that I bought new this time around. I bought a small, this is the Tokes 16 ounce titanium cup. It's big enough to hold a can of fuel. So this is a much smaller and very lightweight cup. So that's saving me a little bit of weight over what I carried last year. I also bring a coffee cup. I could just drink out of my cook cup if I wanted to, but I like the coffee cup and it's insulated and it weighs very little. So I have no problem taking that with me. This is my stove. It's by MSR. It's called the Pocket Rocket. Really popular stove, very durable. It's really small, it's lightweight. It screws on directly onto the fuel can up here and works really well. I also hide a little lighter in there. Well, I ain't got much fuel in there. I might want to replace that. This is the Sea to Summit. It's a titanium spork, and it's a long handle one so that I can get into those Mountain House bags and dig out my rehydrated dinner. And that's it for the cook system. This is the electronics that I'm carrying. Most importantly is the Garmin InReach. The Garmin InReach has an SOS feature on it. Let me see if I can open that. Oh yeah. The button is protected by a spring-loaded lock, so you don't accidentally push the button, which is cool. But I'm going to be in areas where there's no cell service, so the Garmin InReach allows me to, here, why don't I turn it on? Allows me to get rescued if I break a leg, if I get mauled by a mountain lion, or whatever. And for a fee, which is about $60 a month, you not only do you get emergency monitoring, but I also get unlimited text messaging. So when I'm out there, I'll send texts to Laura every day, a couple times a day, so she knows that I've made it to camp and that I'm not having any issues, which is pretty cool. So she doesn't worry so much. I think I can't remember what I paid for this. I want to say it was about $350. It's not cheap, but I mean, I wouldn't go out there without it or something like it. Okay, so I also have, this is my headlamp. These are a couple of battery banks here that I'm bringing. These are extra GoPro batteries and a GoPro battery charger, various cords for charging. This is an extra SD card for the GoPro as well. All that goes into a Ziploc, again, just to keep everything dry. I've got my little Walmart watch here, of course, headphones, and a simple pocket knife. This is going to be my bear defense weapon instead of a gun. Again, trying to keep things light. So I've been practicing my bear eyeball stabbing moves because I'm sure the heck I'm going to need to do something if I run into some. I'm not really worried about bears. I'm more worried about mountain lions, if I'm being honest, but whatever. Anyway, this is the contents of, well, it's called the poop kit. I guess you can guess what that's for, but I have this lightweight aluminum shovel called the Deuce, really lightweight. Help to dig holes with that. Toothbrush, toothpaste, floss. I ain't going without that. This is a little container I'm using because the tub of anti-chafing cream, it's called chamois butter, is big. So I just squeeze it into this. And anywhere you might get some chafing, just slather that stuff on and silky smooth. This is some disposable wipes and also some toilet paper. This is a white Ziploc here. Let me open it. This Ziploc is smell proof and also obviously can't see through it. And the reason why is when you're out hiking, we practice something called leave no trace or LNT principles, which means you're not leaving any garbage. The only thing you can leave out there is waste. So that means even those brawny makeshift man-size toilet paper squares. I gotta pack those out and throw them in a garbage. So I'll put them in a Ziploc, and then that'll all go in the white Ziplocs, and I'll stuff it somewhere in my bag. But that way I don't have to look at it, or smell anything, which is nice. Okay, enough of the poop talk. This is my first aid kit. It's basic. There's not much to show there. I've got stuff to treat blisters, of course, Band-Aids and things like that. Nothing too spectacular. It's a very small one, but I'm bringing it. I also have things like Imodium, which is important, and just in case, and a bunch of ibuprofen, of course. This is my water purification system. You've already seen this if you watched my other Arizona hiking trail videos, and it's the same stuff. I bring 2 different filters. That's added weight, I know, but there's a reason for this. There's a lot of bad water sources out on trail. By bad, I mean like cow ponds that, you know, are so nasty that if you have to filter water out there, I'm gonna filter it a couple of times. And the last thing I want is a clogged filter, because it'll take forever to fill a couple liters of water. And also, what we're trying to avoid here is a parasite called Giardia. And Giardia is, maybe I'll put a little description, but basically it's a parasite that comes from animal waste. And those cow ponds that are out there are literally full of cow patties. They just stand right in the water. They drink, they poop, they don't care. But I care. So I want to make sure I don't catch anything, because guess what the symptom of Giardia is? It's 3 to 4 weeks of diarrhea. And I can't even imagine what that would be like. I don't have enough paper towels. So that's the water. I'm going to bring enough capacity to carry 5 liters, but I'm going to try to carry about 2 liters most of the time, to try to save on weight. So we'll see how that goes. My tent is the same tent I've had before. It's a 1-man tent from REI. I'll throw a picture up right now so you can remind yourself what it looks like. But tent poles and tent stakes. Okay, we're on to the clothes. So first things first, I've got a really cheap, inexpensive, and lightweight rain jacket by Frog Togs. I've never used it, but I have it there just in case. This is my same hiking hat I wear just about every day. It ain't pretty, but it keeps the sun off my face, and that way I don't have to carry sunscreen. This is a lightweight sweatshirt. Nothing special. Nothing special about an extra pair of underwear. These are long johns. I sleep in them at night, which is going to be useful this time of year. This is a lightweight down puffy. I also have some hiking pants. These are lightweight, but it's a durable material. It's from Cole, and I really like it. That's going to come in handy this year. And I have these wool socks to sleep in, extra pair of hiking socks, and I've got a new beanie, which is lined with, I don't know, full faux fur, I guess, but that's warmer than usual. This all goes into this bag. This is a dry bag, so my clothes will be stuffed in there. And this bag also doubles as an air pump to pump up my mattress. If you've seen my other videos, you've probably seen me use that. This is just a buff that I'm bringing, same buff from last year. I also have a couple of bandanas that I bring. And the reason why I have bandanas is I'll use one as a pre-filter, to filter out any large chunks from any questionable water sources, so I don't clog up my filter. And then I'll use the other one to, whenever I have the opportunity, to wash my feet and like my legs and, you know, the dirty parts of my body, when I'm near water, when I'm camping near water. That way, when I get into my tent at night, I'm not bringing my dirty filth and into my sleeping bag. And then I'll just rinse that out whenever I get the opportunity to. The only thing, this is also new. I'm bringing this. This is a bug net. It's really lightweight. It's like a hairnet, really. But I'm bringing that because if you saw me and Laura attempting to do a night hike, we were just eaten up by bugs. They were like moths, so they weren't bothering you. But man, I don't like having bugs fly in my face. So if I get to a place where there's a lot of bugs, I got a bug net now, and that's a good thing. My hiking shoes are the same shoes that I had last year too. These are a new pair. I've actually burned through 3 pairs of these since then. It's the Olympus by Altra, incredibly comfortable. I do add a insert. I don't know if you can see it, but that's by Superfeet. And the insert in combination with this shoe makes it the most comfortable shoe I've ever felt. But these don't last very long. I get maybe this, I'll throw this pair away at the end of this trail. I'm sure there'll be a hole in the heel by the time I'm done with 230 miles. These are called Gaiters. The company that makes them is Dirty Girl. Enough said. But what those are for is they attach to your shoe and they keep you from getting like rocks and stickers and little things in your shoe and in your sock that would just drive you nuts. It keeps you from having to stop every 10 minutes when you're going through the thick bush. That reminds me, I skipped over these trekking poles. These are brand new. I just bought them for this trip. And the reason why is the cheap pair that I had before finally wore out. So I decided to break down and buy a more expensive pair. They're made out of carbon, so they're incredibly lightweight. But the reason why I take trekking poles is, actually I have 3 reasons why. The first and most important reason for me is if I'm climbing up a hill, I can use the trekking poles. I can really lean on them to help use my I can use my shoulders and my arms instead of all legs to go up a hill. And it gives a little bit of relief on your tired legs, which is great. Importantly, the second thing is I use those to push bushes out of the way. Everything out here in the desert has a thorn on it of some kind. So, you can use the trekking pole to kind of hold bushes as you walk by and help clear a path. The third reason why I like having trekking poles is, at least I have something. It's not quite a sword, but I'll do what I can to stab a mountain lion with it, or at least try to poke it away from me. So there's at least something I can do. I have a couple sticks in my hands. It's better than nothing, I guess. On the food situation, if you recall from last year, like a bonehead, I didn't even count my calories. I just stuffed all the food I could in, and that was what I did. I counted it later, and it came to 1,980 calories a day. Not nearly enough for that kind of hiking. The estimation is, 3,000 to 4,000 calories is what I'll probably be burning. It's just walking, but you are doing quite a bit of elevation. In fact, I'm going to insert a little graphic right now that shows you what the elevation of the trail looks like. You might even be able to spot some of the areas that I'm gonna be at. And you can see there's lots of climbing and it's just up and down. The trail basically follows all the mountain ranges around here. So that's why it's so pretty. Anyway, here's the food situation. Here's something that I'm bringing that's new. I'm bringing a jar of chunky peanut butter. Peanut butter has a ton of calories. So do tortillas. So I've got 5 tortillas in here. I've got peanut butter. I'm also bringing honey. So together, having one of those is going to give me about 600 extra calories, which is great. The other thing I did is I packaged all my food into each day is a Ziploc. And this time I'm careful. I know what's in there: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's a freeze-dried meal, which I like for dinner, and tons of variety of stuff. I've got dry fruit, I got nuts, I've got my breakfast coffee stuff in there, all kinds of stuff. And I have different stuff for each day, so it's not gonna be the same meal every single time. Similar meals, but it won't be the same meal. This is a dry bag. This bag and this stuff right here is 5 days worth of food. I haven't weighed it yet, but I'm gonna post the weight in the video right now. This will tell you what a 5-day food supply weighs. I also have this paracord. I'm going to use that to hang my food bag in some trees during the first 4 or 5 days while I'm in the mountains to make sure that bears and rodents and mountain lions don't get to it. That stretch of food over there is actually going to be my resupply when I come back home with Laura, and that'll give me another 5 days worth of food. My dad has a box of resupply items that he'll be giving to me when we meet up in Pine. So I'm gonna show you now what everything weighs. So my pack with everything in it except my food and water, that's called your base weight. My base weight is, survey said, we'll see what the food weighs. We know what water weighs. It's 2.2 pounds per liter. So my goal will be to try to get by on as little water as possible instead of carrying as much as I can feel like I can carry. Water was my culprit last time. There were lots of times where I was so paranoid about not having water that I found myself carrying, 5 or 6 pounds of extra weight every day. And I'm wondering if that's what wore out my body so much last time. Well, that's about all I have to say. I'm really looking forward to this trip. I'm incredibly excited, and stay tuned. In about 2.5 weeks or so, I'll start posting videos from this trip. So I hope I make it. Later. Why am I doing the fingers? Later. Hey. Ooh. All right, that's it. See ya.